Hey everyone, this is Owen from Research is Broken, and today I would like to talk about my interest in the new Death faction in Warhammer, wherein, well, it's sort of new, wherein the Soul Blight is coming. They're not really that new because they're actually legions of Nagash that has been revamped into the Soul Blight. So this time around, it's pretty clear that this faction is being led by the vampires while they control the other undead minions like the zombies and the skeletons and what have you. But in the Soul Blight faction, you can actually lead a full vampire army, but that's one of the sub factions that you can pick from in the Soul Blight. So yeah, I'm very interested in this new faction. So couldn't help myself, and I got me a new box, which is the Skeleton Horde of the Start Collecting box. Um, let's find out what's inside and see what's in store for anyone who wants to play vampires in this miniature wargaming. Alright, here's the box. Let's take a look. Skeleton Horde. Ooh. Right, we got the spruce for my Soul Blight army. Oh. So this sprue is obviously for the Black Knights. This one too. The Black Knights. Then for the Mortarks. Damn. I'm gonna have fun building this. Neferata. Some bases. More of the Mortarks. Then the skeletons. Skeleton warriors. These 10 of them. Alright. Then we've got some how to build. Skeletons. And then this is already obsolete since this is a battalion sheet from way back during the first edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Right now it's already useless, and if rumors are true that battalions will be changed, well, before they're useless. Many of these how to build sheets have stats for your miniatures. In the Skeleton Horde box, it's already obsolete because they've already been changed. So check for the current War Scroll. It's better to check on the website because you can download it for free. Alright, so I want to talk about the particular spruce. The skeletons, the skeleton warriors, these miniatures that are part of the box are already an old set. There is actually a new one that's just been released. It's far more detailed. Here, the skeletons are simpler, so it's up to you. For me, it's a good thing. It's that's simpler because I want to build, paint, put put these minis as fast at the table as possible so I can play with them. So yeah, it's a good thing. Because the new one, it's a little bit more complicated. They have this old, looks like samurai looking, ancient samurai looking armor design. So yeah, I think it's going to take a while for you to finish painting those, unless you do some quick uh, painting technique. So here in the Mortarks, there are actually three possible builds in the Mortark, so you can choose between Arkan, Manfred, and Neferata. Um, if you're planning to play Soulblight, Arkan is out of the question because he's only going to be usable in Ossiarchs now. So it's either going to be Manfred or Neferata for you to build. Yeah, something to keep in mind on which Mortark you're gonna build when getting this box. As for the Black Knights, you can actually build them as a Hex Rate, which is a Night Haunt mini. So yeah, if you're interested in making Night Haunts, I've heard that Night Haunts are the Hex Rate version is actually stronger, but I keep looking at the scroll and I don't see it. Because for me, it seems that the Black Knights seem to be better since their job is to charge. I'm gonna have to play around and see which one is a better option, Black Knights or Hex Rates. It's really up to you if which one you want to build though. So yeah, those are the different builds that you can make while making the Skeleton Horde miniatures in the box. Alright, I don't want to just leave you with the look of the spruce. I think it's better if we also look at them from two possible perspectives, which is Warcry and AOS. Alright, so I want to first talk about the battle line found in the box, which is the Death Rattle Skeleton Warriors. There are only 10 available within the box, but if you find a Skeleton Warrior box alone, there are 20 available in it. So if you're planning to make a Skeleton Horde, I would suggest to get the Skeleton Warrior box alone so that you can easily build up your Horde. Now, these models can be both played in AOS and Warcry, and since the recent War Scroll changes, and this is what I like about the recent War Scroll changes in AOS, is that the weapons are the same no matter what they carry. So previously, the ancient blade and spear had different stats, but now whatever stat it is, it's the same. So what does it mean for you is that you can now pick what your models are carrying for what you find cool instead of the stat holding you down. What the other thing that's interesting about this is that in Warcry there is still a difference in blades and spears for skeleton, so you can mix and match from the box alone. When you buy, you don't have to fully build holding a blade or a spear. If you want, you can have 5 of your skeletons holding spears and 5 of them holding blades, depending on what you think you will need for your Warcry band as well. And the same goes to your champions, because the champions had a choice of mace or halberd, but now because in AOS it has the same stats, it's really up to you which one you want your skeleton to carry. And then what I like about the Death Rattle skeletons is that their new ability which is called the Skeleton Legion, allows them to regenerate dead units when you pick them while fighting. So you don't have to just rely on your leaders to resurrect them, but with your leaders surrounded, um, your units can easily be replenished. But I should warn you that unlike the previous Legion of Nagash, where resurrecting um, summonable units were very efficient, right now that's not the full power of the Soul Blight. It's just something you should think of when building them. Alright, so next I want to talk about the cavalry in the that you'll find in this box, and you can either build Black Knights or Hex Wraith. For me, because of the new War Scroll of Black Knights, I'd pick them because they're far more killier. Their deathly charge works when you roll a 2 plus and dealing D3 mortal wounds after you make a charge move, unlike the Hex Wraith, where they're spectral hunters, which allows them to go move past other models, only deal 1 mortal damage on a 5 plus. So the possibility of dealing a deathly charge for the Black Knights is more higher. Plus, their normal melee weapons of the Black Knights is far more effective because their barrow lance will hit on 4 plus 2 hit and 4 plus 2 wound, while their hooves and teeth melee weapon is a 4 plus 4 plus. Unlike Nighthawns, which although has a 4 plus to hit and 3 plus to wound on Spectral Scythe, their hooves and teeth has a 4 plus and a 5 plus. That is very difficult for your models to deal any significant damage, especially if your opponents has saves of 4 plus or better. The only downside for the Black Knights though is that their attacks have no rend, but still their ability to deal damage during charging and better hit more than makes up for them. Although I'm not saying that the Hex Rate has no advantage. For one, they can fly, but when it comes to dealing damage, um, I'd really go for Black Knights. Now that's for the AOS side of the game. For Warcry, in my opinion, Hex Rate is actually better because their abilities allow them to deal critical damage whenever they hit. So they deal more damage than your Black Knights, plus a built-in flying allows them to go through anywhere they need to during that time. And then the only downside is their night hunts, and for me at least, night hunts are very difficult to play because most of the models in night hunts deal very little damage, unlike the Legion of Nagash. But if you can make it work, yeah, for me, the hex rates are actually a better pick if you only plan to use this proof for Warcry. Yeah. Alright, so now let's look at the leaders in the box. There you can build either Manfred, Neferata, or Arkan, but first I want to take a look at the two models that can be picked in the Soulblight army. So there's Manfred and Neferata, who has a new War Scroll. What that means is that they have better stats and their skills are far more improved. So, for instance, if for Manfred at the beginning of a combat, he can escape and move to another location, which makes him far more trickier than before. What I also like about Manfred is that if you're Legion of Night, you can pick another hero, non-named hero, and then Manfred can also be a general aside from the other hero, giving you two generals in your army. Then there's Neferata, who also has an improved uh, stat in her new war scroll. What makes her interesting is that she has the ability to insta kill a hero called the Dagger of Jet. But in the previous war scroll, it only works on a 6 plus after attacking the hero and it survives. This time around, it works on a 5 plus, giving you 1 out of 3 chances to insta kill any hero after damaging them, making her a perfect assassin if you need one. What you also what you do have to consider though is that these two heroes are not that tankish, so don't just go ham forward. You still have to consider not to be harassed by battle lines or any big critters, but they can be very effective on what they were built for. So for Manfred, he's a very good sneaky guy, while Neferata is a good assassin. One thing to also consider is that unfortunately, since these are named characters, um, they don't have any Warcry stat whatsoever, only on AOS. But still, with their new War Scroll, they have been further improved. Oh, and Neferata also, if you are a Legion of Blood player, you can pick another hero as a general, and Neferata can also be your second general. So all I can say is these two characters are better than before. Alright, so let's now talk about the odd man out, Archon the Black, who whose allegiance is on Osiarch Bone Reapers, but because he used to be part of the Legion of Nagash, and things have changed. So this guy, although you can only build him in this box, he can only be used in the Osiarch Bone Reapers. So he's got no new War Scroll because only the Soul Blight characters get a new War Scroll right now. Uh, but he does have an appearance in Warcry on a special scenario, so technically he can be played in Warcry, but not on open play or tournament plays. Uh, if you're interested in getting Archon because you're an Osiarch Bone Reaper, the easiest way is to get this box and somehow trade the remaining models to other players who need this. So my final thoughts. What do I think of the box? For me, if you're looking for powerful leaders, this is very essential because you get both the General of Legion of Blood and Legion of the Night. So if you're a player who are interested in getting either Manfred or Neferata, this is a very worth it box. But if you're a player who currently needs more men, more points for their army, um, this isn't really that necessary because there's an upcoming new start collecting box, which is the Soul Blight start collecting box, and it has more points actually because funnily enough, the Death Rattle skeleton is very small points here within the skeleton horde, but in the new box you can get the Grave Guard, which has more points for your army. But this box is a very good supplement if you need a powerful leader, or maybe if you want to collect signature characters, then yeah, this is a perfect box for you. So just before I will close my video, I just want to talk about my hobby time. So recently, I've just finished making my Splintered Fang Warband in Warcry, and I couldn't be happier with my result. I mean, I'm sure there are better painters out there, but for me, I love this. And I can't wait to put them on the table and try out new techniques to beat my enemy. So yeah, right now after finishing this, actually it took me 1 month to finish this because I made a mistake of painting this through sub-assembly because a lot of the parts are very hard to reach when you paint. And I don't know, in my opinion, I'm not gonna do that again because what I usually finish my projects in 2 weeks, but this one took me 1 month, man. So yeah, this is my hobby time. Next time, I think I'm gonna rest for at least one more day before I start another project. I think my next project would be the Demonites, so that I can start making a Slanesh Warband in Warcry. Yeah, that's it. So, tell me if you like the video. Write it down in the comment section. Ring the bell. Click it so that you'll be notified whenever I make a new video. Click the subscribe button. Very important if you want more content from me. So yeah, thanks guys.